We already have 42 people in here, Lord, as expected, because people are drawn to the little mix up, the little pasa. I know people are drawn to the drama, but shout out to everybody who's in here. We already have 46 people in here. Shout out to all of y'all. High value wives, I see you in here. Shout out to you, sis. Always a pleasure seeing you in here. Spuda M. Alexander King Strong said, "What's up?" Oh, what's up? Okay. Dating to marriage support. Big up yourself. Thank you for being in here. 50 now, game changer. And I am gonna drop the link. So if anybody wants to call up, I'm not gonna stay long because Miss Crimson Cure goes live right after this. But I am gonna drop the link if anybody want to call up, because y'all see from the poll that I put in the chat, the toxicity is real. And there's a quote, y'all know I love quotes. There is a quote that I always touch on. It says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. And I want to highlight this. I want to highlight it because Courtney Michelle is so concerned with what I have to say about just pearly things, but she's not concerned about what she said about me. Y'all go ahead and hit the like button real quick because we're going to talk about it. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. How on earth are you trying to ruin my reputation? You're spreading lies about me, but you claim you're pro-black. You claim you're pro-black and you want me, a black woman, to speak up against a white lady, but at the same time, you have said so many lies about me. We're talking about it. Shouts out to you, King Strong. I see you in here. Reality checks. We're going to check reality, the beautiful light. Always a pleasure seeing you in here. That Christian fam channel, I see you in here. I always quote that. I heard this from Anton Daniels. I heard it from Anton Daniels that a lot of times we like to look out the window instead of in the mirror. And I personally think that we can resolve the issues that we currently have in the Black community by working within. Inside out, not outside in. We've been trying outside in for over 50 years. Y'all remember we reviewed that video, old video from the 70s of them sitting having the same conversations we're having now. When Sister Shahrazad Ali was around, we're touring 30 years ago, she having the same conversation we're having now. Nothing has been changing, but we get too easily distracted by what they're doing on the outside. We get so easily distracted about what Dwight is doing to us and we're not even realizing what we're doing to each other. The hypocrisy of this is what annoys me. I didn't even say my disclaimer. One disclaimer, I'm still at people's yard. As you can see, Idris Elba and I were still on vacation. So if you guys hear any noise in the background, please pardon me. It's because I'm not home yet. Second disclaimer, I am going to drop the link, but I'm not going to stay long because Miss Crimson Cure is going to go live after me, and I do want to respect her time. She goes live every day at this time. I don't want to step on her toes. And third disclaimer, this is not no beef with nobody. I am not beefing with Courtney Michelle. Let me say that clear. I am not beefing with Courtney Michelle. From the beginning of time when I started my channel, I highlighted toxic behavior in Black women and how we need to course correct so we can work with our Black men to become the best version of yourself, so you can pair up with a man who is also the best version of himself, come together to start families so we can see more two-parent households in the Black community and build a stronger community. I do not have time to be beefing with Courtney Michelle because paying too much attention to the hyenas is what causes us to get distracted. And Courtney Michelle is a hyena. If you don't know by now, I don't know. I don't know how you don't know. She clear as day. She don't even hide it. She don't even hide it. She don't even try to say, oh, let me not be so outcoming with my hyenaism. So why would I spend time beefing with a hyena? What I do though is call out toxic behavior. And y'all see the thumbnail. Y'all remember Amber, what's her name? Amber from last year when she sued Captain Jack. Amber Heard, my Jamaican scholar Amber Heard. Pick up everybody in the chat. If y'all were rocking with me in June, we were talking about Amber Heard, right? I put her on the thumbnail and I also put Courtney Michelle on the thumbnail. And I'm going to show y'all a video real quick to show this is not the first time Courtney tried to play victim, and this is not the first time Courtney had false accusation on me. And it's what is the difference between the KKKishas, and the hyenas. If, as we say in Jamaica, 6 1, half dozen is the other. If the KKKishas are telling lies on her own people, and the Karens are telling lies on Black people, point out what is the difference. Or should we only check the Karens because of the color of their skin? Should we turn a blind eye to the KKKishas who spread lies and try to destroy another Black person's reputation just because of the color of her skin? It don't make no sense. But before we move forward, y'all already know, go ahead and hit the like button. As I said, I'm at people's yards. So if you hear any noise, if you hear a baby bawling in the background, please pardon it. Go ahead and hit the like button, y'all.
Man, this is some bullshit.
Big up yourself, Tyler. Tyler said accusation, false accusation. This is why men need to, because of these false accusations and these toxic behaviors, and they don't want us to call it out. Because let me not jump ahead, y'all. Let me not jump ahead. Let me show y'all, because some people are like, oh, what started all this thing? How did we get there? Let me show y'all how we got here. Shout out to Gail, first of all. Shout out to Gail at night. I was chilling in my bed one Saturday afternoon. And Gail texted me and was like, hey, Richie Mac from Zoom to Thailand wants you to pull up. Now, if y'all notice something about me, right? I don't panel hop. I do not panel hop. Never panel hop, will never panel. I can count on one hand how many panels I have been on since I discovered this quote unquote space. And whenever I call up on those panels, y'all notice I never cam up. I only cam up when when it's a planned show. I'm not going to insert myself in conversations that I'm not invited to, because that is not my place. I am not going to call up on another person's panel while they're having a discussion. And if they did not specifically ask for me, I am not going to call up. The only person's panel that I've ever called up on when they didn't send for me was Gail Nelson, both Gail at night, Game Changer. Shout out to you, Game Changer. And one other person, Shesharde. When they didn't send for me, and I click the link because I want to click the link. Every time I click the link, I do not turn on my camera, and I'm strategic with it. Because I know, I mean, not trying to be conceited or anything, but I know how I look. And I know if I turn on my camera, then a lot of men gonna find me attractive and quote unquote simp for me, and then come on my page and just gonna be looking at me and my accent. So when I go on other people's platform, I do not use my looks to bring over people to subscribe to my channel. If I have something to say, I keep my camera off. I keep my camera off and I say what I have to say. I don't hop around on panels. No, 5 months ago, I was chilling, minding my business a Saturday afternoon, and Gail messaged me and said, hey, Richie Mac wants you to come up for this conversation. It was the Savior Community Black Men and the Passport Bro conversation. Let me play the conversation for y'all. And then bear in mind, this was the first time I have ever exchanged words with Courtney. Courtney invited me to a panel to discuss if women are involved in the manosphere. And I responded to her and said, I will not be participating in that conversation because I do not consider myself a part of the manosphere. For no other reason, but it's called the manosphere. Men space. Why on earth would I be engaging in a conversation if women involved in men's space? Are you dumb? Wait, we need this. I saw Mission on Denise in the chat. Shout out to you. Are you stupid?
1 week, you know.
Come on, man. You don't know better than that as a crew person. Come on, man.
And it's no disrespect to anybody, but inviting me to have a conversation if women are supposed to be in the manosphere is almost as if asking me to have a conversation if a triangle supposed to be in a circle. Like, I don't have time for that. I do not have time for that. Thank you, Bella. From the beginning of time, my channel was focused on how women cannot repeat my mistakes. Why am I talking about if women should belong in the manosphere? It's you. Let's not even get into that. That's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different conversation. Anyways, this is the first time I've ever exchanged words with Courtney Michelle, apart from that email. Let's take a listen. I'm going to 2x speed it because, as I said, Miss Crimson Cure going live. Don't want to step on her toes. Let's go ahead. Hit the like button.
Society, is this something you would tell them, hey, stay back and wait, me, Courtney Michelle, one person, even though you're doing the job, but one person is trying while all the other Black women are calling you a pick me, celebrating when Kevin Samuels died? Is this a society that's really worth them staying back, or why wouldn't you encourage them to go find happiness and love elsewhere?
I think that marriage is a business. I think relationships should not be focused on feelings. I think that's a woman thing, that we focus our relationships on feelings. I think with marriage, it's more than that. It's a political statement. I think marriage is for family, specifically for children. I think marriage is important for generational wealth. And I think that we need to focus that on what marriage is and what relationships are, instead of leaving for how you feel.
So no, Courtney, I don't think you're understanding my question.
Okay. So I
think or are you intentionally not answering me? Maybe I wasn't clear. I'm so sorry. I'll try asking the question again. I'm saying a society that's run by feminists, a society where everything is against Black men. And even though you, Courtney Michelle, is doing the work, majority of Black women aren't. Doesn't it make more logical sense that majority of Black men go elsewhere where they'll feel loved and respected than stay in a society hoping that one Courtney Michelle will influence the masses?
So I was answering that question, but I was giving context to it. So the context is how we go into marriages. Now, you also mentioned my brothers who are married. And the reason why they're having a successful marriage is because they went in it as a business. And so would I encourage them to fall back? I mean, I don't have to encourage them to do anything. They're here in the States and they are married successfully to Black women. I wish Black men that are having successful marriages would speak up a little bit more as well, too. So again, I don't encourage anyone to do anything that they don't want to do. I specifically have always said that my work is here and my tribe is for the men that want Black women here, is that we have to start getting ourselves together. And that's what I'm always going to believe and stand on. So I don't encourage anyone to do anything. And I'm not, threatening men or shaming them or putting any guilt. But my work is here. I'm going to be here.
Maybe you get distracted because I said your brothers. I'll try asking the question another way, right? Logically, if a man is looking for a wife and there are 10 wives, or there are 100 wives in Colombia to 10 wives in America, logically, where would you encourage him to go to find a wife?
I encourage men to do what they want and feel best for them.
All right. Okay.
Y'all
thank you. Thank you.
Man, this is some bullshit.
I was muted this whole time. I'm sorry. I said I refreshed my page because I couldn't see the chat. Now, I shared that because that was the first interaction I've ever had with Courtney Michelle. And the purpose of that interaction, as I said, Gail said, Richie Mack said, call up, pull up. So I got there, heard what they were saying real quick, and then pull up. The purpose of me calling up was to see if Courtney could see I'm sorry, pardon the baby crying in the background. The purpose of me calling up was to present a different perspective to Courtney, because she was saying steal their asses back. She was saying, save your community, Black men. And it was like, the baby here, well, he feeling it. And it was like, okay, but do you see how a community that Black men didn't destroy, asking them to save it, it's kind of manipulative. And then turning around and playing the victim card and saying, Black men save us because it's your community. You should be the head. But okay, you didn't listen to Black men in the first place. As a matter of fact, you kicked Black men out of the household because the government was giving you food stamps and WIC. So now how are you going to turn around when you have babies, when you have babies for men who weren't reliable enough to save the community, when you big boned, when you aggressive, when you combative, and then now it's when you want men to pick up your what left? You spend your best years in the streets, and then you're going to bring what left to these men who had to work hard all their life and say, come, please save it. I called up to give Courtney that perspective. As I said, I did not have no beef for Courtney. My spirit didn't take her for my islands in the chat. When they say your spirit can't text somebody, you know what I'm talking about. My spirit couldn't take her from I saw her on Lapeef Network. I kept my distance from her. Nothing specifically, couldn't put my finger on it or anything, but I was just like, you know, let me keep my distance. That's part of the reason why I declined her invitation for to discuss if women belong in the manosphere. The fact that we've never spoken before, and that's the conversation you want to present to me, if women belong in the man sphere. Anyways, all of a sudden, Auntie Allen from We Need to Talk left a post saying he met me and met Courtney in real life, and I was cold and standoffish, and Courtney was warm and welcoming. And I'm like, excuse me, sir? Everybody who was at the dinner that I met Auntie Allen at was like, what the hell are you talking about? First of all, he came late. He came when we were collecting the checks. He came when we were packing up and leaving, when we were taking group pictures. That's how Auntie Allen got inserted in a conversation, and that's how he gained his title as Auntie Allen, because if that was not the most feminine thing ever, to involve yourself in conversation between two female and to say such a passive-aggressive thing and then just walk away. Anyways, I did a stream with Auntie Allen. He was all passive-aggressive the whole time. If he was to use the word game changer, what's the word he used? If he was to use his favorite word one more time, I swear, if we had $1 for every time Auntie Allen used the word, what's the word game changer? I'm looking out for it. We would have been rich right now. All right. We would have been actually I would have a real piano by now if we had $1 every time he used that one word. Anyways, we buried that. That's gone. If men want to save the community, save the community. If men want to get their passport, get your passport. It makes no sense trying to change people's mind. This is why I do not discuss politics, and this is why I do not discuss religion, because a lot of times when people enter those conversations, they already had their minds made up. So why am I here sitting trying to convince you to believe what I believe when there's no way on earth you gonna convince me to believe what you believe? So I respect everybody's belief and I just go my way. The conversation with Trill and Unsolicited Boss came up, and they were talking about use boxed on the dating market. They told young ladies, if you want to get married, leverage your box. And I was the only one on the platform. Shout out to Messy Michonne. She reacted to this video and she highlighted my facial expressions. If it's one thing I cannot hide, my facial expression. Y'all will know exactly how I'm feeling on my face. When Unsolicited Security Boss and Trill said, leverage your used box on the dating market if you want to get a man of value. And I was like, only a weak man can be intimidated by a woman's box. Only a weak man who can't lead nothing nowhere will pick a woman based on her box. How about we leverage our femininity? How about if we leverage our virginity? Other cultures are teaching their daughters how to be feminine and leverage their femininity on the dating market. Meanwhile, in the Black community, we're talking about leverage your box. And not only that, majority of the box be used. Not only that, we got these long titty baby mamas coming on the dating market, leveraging box. Not only are their box used, but their wombs are also used. Lord of His mercy. Why I go say that? No, granted, y'all remember, I squashed it with Courtney Michelle with the whole save your community and save yourself, Black men. I actually spoke with Auntie Allen, and then I walked away from that conversation because what's the use? What is the use? So, I mean, if y'all don't believe me, go check out Messy Michonne's stream, because one thing I have to give Michonne her flowers. She's fair and balanced. I rock with Michonne, and there's something she held me accountable on in that stream. She will call you out when wrong is wrong. And that's the issue that I'm observing right now on YouTube. We're going to dive into it in a minute. But if you can't call out that wrong is wrong, you are a part of the problem. But let us continue. Y'all go ahead and hit the like button. I'm trying to talk fast because Miss Crimson Cure going live next. I don't want to step on her toes. Celine, I see you in here. Shout out to you, sis. No, Where was I? The use box conversation. I said, and pardon me if my patois kicks in. Whenever I'm telling stories, I speak patois. I said, women out here with their used womb on the dating market. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Y'all, why did I go say that? I might as well said Courtney Michelle on the dating market with her used womb, because when I tell you I did not even look in her direction when I was having that conversation.
Got it.
When I tell you there was nowhere in that whole entire conversation was Courtney Michelle even involved. Courtney was not on the panel with Trill and Unsolicited Security Boss. She was not on the stream when I reacted to the clip when Trill and Unsolicited Security Boss Game Changer call up. That was my first time speaking with Zaina. Shout out to you, Zaina. Courtney Michelle was not even in the chat, y'all, when we were having the conversation. I did a part 2 on the conversation talking about you leveraging used pum pum, and let me tell you, Spuda said it. It's the word used womb trigger her. I don't know if that word is on her birth certificate, but Courtney Michelle came in to the conversation when I said the term used womb. I was not even talking about her, y'all. I was not even referring to her or anything. There are multiple women with used womb on the dating market. As a matter of fact, I was reacting to a video of Kevin Samuels having a conversation with a woman who got 3 kids, talking about how she's celibate until married. And she had her, no, I think she had her 3 kids in wedlock. Woman with 3 kids talking about she's celibate. That's who I was reviewing the video of. Courtney Michelle got hit because hit dogs holler, and she came in. She inserted herself in the conversation when no one was having the conversation about her, and this is what she said. Chantelle, you have an assigned seat at Planned Parenthood. Let's talk about it. She went on to say your womb is a tomb. She went on to say some other disgusting things about me and my womb and my apparently Planned Parenthood visits. And I was as confused as anyone else who was in the chat. Y'all can go back and watch the stream. Y'all can go watch Messy Miss Sean's reaction with it. As I said, I rock with her because she's fair and balanced. It was very distasteful. I know Bella Rings was in there, and Bella Rings was a mod at the time. And Bella confirmed if it was actually Courtney or not. Now, what is the purpose of this? I am talking fast. Game Changer was also in there. He confirmed as a mod. Gail confirmed as a mod. Mona D confirmed as a mod. Now, what is the purpose of me telling this story, y'all? I'm going to pull back this. Bear with me. Y'all know me and technology. Is Madara in here? I'm going to pull back this. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. No, I was not, as I said, I was not talking about Courtney Michelle. I was not even throwing any stones at Courtney Michelle. She was not involved in the conversation. I buried the quote unquote beef, the disagreement, anything I had with Courtney Michelle, because I am not one for changing people's mind, because you cannot change my mind on my belief. So I'm not one to be changing people's mind. Courtney Michelle was nowhere in the conversation. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. What enemy within? The enemy within the community, the enemy that will say things like this to their fellow Black woman. Why? Because you're triggered over the truth. What I said was a lie. Woman, young ladies, protect your womb. Protect your front, because if you go out in the dating market with used womb, it's going to decrease your chances of finding a man of value. If you do not save your womb for your husband, it will lower your chances of finding a man who will provide, protect, lead, and teach, because those kind of men had to work hard all their life, and they're not going to pick up somebody's what left. They're not going to pick up somebody who give their best years to the streets and then going to give you the what left. No, it don't work like that. You have to be strategic with dating. You got to be strategic in your teens and in your 20s. You cannot live freely in your 20s and then expect for your 30s and your 40s to be treated as if you were virgin. You cannot be reckless, a streetwalker in your teens and in your 20s and then spend your 30s and your 40s like a nun. Like a Christian woman who have been Christian all my life. No, ma'am, you have the STDs and the STIs to prove it. You have the long titties to prove it. You have the kids out of wedlock to prove it. You have the emotional baggages to prove it. Protect your energy in your teens so you don't have to be course correcting in your 30s. What did I say was wrong? What was so wrong about that? Why she's trying to destroy my reputation? Now let's talk on reputation real quick. Shout out to Messy Michonne for the super sticker, and shout out to Drago. Said it's just like the Pearl situation. No one is talking to or about you. No, we're gonna get into that. I don't know what that means. Clarify that in the chat. It's just like the Pearl situation. No one is talking to or about you. I don't know if it's just like the Pearl situation. No, it is just like the Pearl situation. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know, and I really don't care. What I care about is how are we so quick? Let me big screen this. Drake, I don't know what I was about to say, but this is an important part. So thank you for sending this super chat. What I care about is how do we care? How are we so concerned about what Pearl said, and we're not concerned about what Courtney said? Because as I said earlier, 6 1 half dozen of the other. If what Pearl said is extremely disrespectful and it ruins our reputation and it makes us look bad as Black people, what Courtney said, I'm 31, y'all. I'm 31. For her to say that because I don't have a child, even though I'm not married, is because I had multiple abortions. How is that any different than what a Karen would say? If a Karen will see a Black man, here we go. Quiet Storm, big up yourself. Thank you so much for being in here. Shout out to you. We're gonna get a little deep right now. All right. 205 people watching. I'm not even checking my likes. I probably should have closed this off, but I don't see any trolls in here yet, and I trust my mod. Hear me out. If a Karen, a white woman, a white privileged woman will see a Black, I'm gonna say a Black, I will see me, right? And will see me at my workplace, and she wants to ruin my reputation with the company, with my bosses. And she went to my boss and said, hey, you know, Chantel have multiple seats at Planned Parenthood, and Chantel's womb is a tube, and with Courtney Michelle stand 10 toes down, got on platforms that the reason I'm not married or I don't have any kids, it must mean that it's because I am homosexual. We have all the clips. For her to stand 10 toes down in trying to smear my reputation, in trying to say because I'm not married and I don't have kids and I'm 31, it means that I must be a homosexual. It means that I must have multiple abortions. Only because I said young girls protect your womb. No. If a white Karen was supposed to say that, and we'll get outraged and we'll be on platform for hours talking about that white Karen who tried to ruin a Black woman's reputation without any facts or evidence, why don't we have the same energy when a Black woman tries to ruin another Black woman's reputation just because she got triggered? If Karen can call the cops on Black men and ruin Black men's reputation, many Black men in jail for things they didn't do because a Karen accused them of doing something. Why? And we're angry about that and we're marching about that. Shout out to you, reality checks. I meant to do CDs. And we're angry about that and we can march about that. Why don't we keep the same energy and march when the KKKourtneys do the same thing? Why do we turn a blind eye to the KKKourtneys just because we attacking Karen when KKKourtneys and Karen is 6 1/2 dozen of the other? If you cover their face and you hear them talk, you don't know who is who. Someone had said that if you cover a Black woman face, shout out to 18th letter. You hear a Black woman talk and how she talk about Black men and the Black community and the quote unquote pick-me's, you will think it's a white supremacist. But we're going to turn a blind eye to all of that. Why? Because we know we focusing on white supremacy when the enemy is within. How on earth? Let me get to this super chat. That baby noise in the back. I thought you got rid of that. CD. I'm sorry. That was a terrible joke.
Oh my God.
That was a bad joke. But I do laugh at bad jokes too. I'm so sorry for laughing on the air. I'm so sorry, but shout out to you. It was a terrible joke though. It was a terrible joke, but that was a good one. Shout out to you. Listen to me. Big up yourself. I'm gonna drop the link in a minute, y'all, so you guys can come up and add to the conversation. All I'm saying is, y'all, where's the same energy? Where is the same energy? I was going to play another clip, but I don't have enough time. I'll just play the clip that I shared yesterday because I was going to play another. Actually, no, I do have the time. Pardon me. I do have the time because I'm sorry. As I said, I don't want to step on Miss Crimson Cure toe, but we might go a little 50 minutes over. I'm going to play this clip to highlight that this is not the only time Courtney tries to accuse me of harassing her. She plays the victim card real well. I gotta give her that. Courtney is like one of these typical hyenas who want to cause damage to the community. And if anybody was supposed to say, wait, but you the one who set the fire to the community, they said, how dare you check me? I'm your mama black. All my life I have to fight. But yet she's the one who caused the fire. And if you turn around and say, sis, why you lighting the match? Oh, your mama black. Don't you dare check me. Oh my gosh, you're attacking me. Why are you doing this to me, sis? I saw the comments and a lot of people were asking her, trying to hold her accountable. You know what? Let me not even get there. Let me just go ahead and play the clip. Let me go ahead and play the clip and then I'll drop the link for y'all to come up. Again, I'm going to put this on speed because this is a little longer. This is a little longer and I'm pretty sure that everybody with common sense will see. All I ask for y'all, as y'all listening to this clip, hear how I strategically asked my questions. Before the Savior Community Black Men and before the Passport Bros conversation and anything like this, I had nothing against Courtney. As I said, my spirit just didn't take her. So I never collabed with her. I didn't join up no platform with her on it. Because I said, I'm going to just keep my distance from her. My spirit don't take her. Even when Pink Book Lessons exposed her, I still gave her the benefit of the doubt. Even when Kay and Kayla was going in on her, I left a comment or two on Lapeef talking about how all Courtney trying to do is tell the truth. If y'all can go back and check the receipts. I over there advocating for Courtney when she first came up and Kay was trying to expose her that she a baby mama. When Kay exposed that she a baby mama and she old, she elder, she fit the wall. She was approaching the 40 wall at the time. I defended her because even though my spirit didn't take her, I knew how to eat the meat and spit out the bone. But she's one of those typical hyenas who don't think that they can be held accountable for nothing. She's one of those typical hyenas who will start the fire. And if you were to hold her accountable and say, ma'am, you started this fire, she gonna bawl and say, you're attacking me. Shout out to Rights as the Rain. Big up yourself. Love that name. First time watch CS. But if Michonne approves of you, I'm already a fan. Yes, it's good, sis. Big up yourself. Michonne Denise gave me the stamp of approval. Shout out to you, Michonne. Pink Book Lessons exposed her a long time ago, and I still gave her the benefit of the doubt because, as I said, eat the meat, spit out the bone. Never mention, we're going to get into it. Never mention Courtney Michelle's name. But let Courtney tell it. I've been harassing her. I'm just letting her tell it. And the waterworks of how Chantel Simone has been harassing Courtney Michelle. I asked y'all 5 months ago to pull up the receipts of any comments y'all have ever seen me in Courtney Michelle's page. If y'all have ever seen me in the chat, if y'all have ever seen me in the comments, provide the receipts. This is how the hyenas work. The hyenas will do anything but take correction. They'll even go as far as try to ruin your reputation. Let's go ahead.
Expect more women who claim to have Black men's best interest at heart to support, promote, and encourage men to get their passports. Because as a Peaceful Life just said, it's complete. And even as Courtney admitted earlier, the dating market is complete trash. And I understand that not every man wants to go overseas. But if you want a wife, it makes a lot more sense to go overseas for a wife instead of holding out for the few women who are listening to Courtney Michelle, listening to Danica Marie and changing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's 1 in 1,000 of those women who are actually doing the work, the true work. And not even to mention the ones who don't already have the baggage that men don't want. Because I find that a lot of times these women who are willing to do the work already have either passed the wall, they're somebody's baby mama, or something wrong with them that men would have to settle to deal with them anyways.
This is what got her triggered. In hindsight, this is what got her triggered. Me saying that majority of the women who are willing to do the work, myself included, have already passed the wall, already baby mamas, and have these emotional baggages. It will be like sucking salt out a wooden spoon to get these older broads to get on a man's program. The fact that she's hit the wall, she a baby mama, triggered her when I said that. But let us continue.
The women in their prime who don't have any kids aren't willing to do the work as much as women who already have kids and who have hit the wall. So either way, men will be losing if they get a wife here. So I don't understand why more female content creators who claim to have men's best interests at heart would not advocate for men to date out or go overseas.
Yeah, I don't know if this is turning into who has men's best interest at heart, because that's what I keep hearing. If you have their best interest at heart, or if this and that, which, you know, I have my community best interest in heart.
So, okay. Don't care if this is a who has men's best interests at heart conversation, but she has her community's best interests at heart. We already touched on this 5 months ago. What does that mean? Women and children, best interests at heart. Black men are still expected to take the end of the stick that's made of sugar, honey, iced tea. Even though Black men are saying, hey, the community not serving us. The community is continuing to lie on us and continuing to put us down and to belittle us. We saw the therapist. We saw the nurse practitioner. We saw the criminal defense attorney calling Black men dusties. Listen to a stream of Cynthia G. I've never listened to her stream except for when people clip it. Someone clipped one of her stream the other day, and I could not believe those words came out of her mouth. When it comes to Black men, a woman from the community. So Courtney, you have the community's best interests at heart, but look at how the community is treating Black men. Obviously, the community don't have Black men's best interests at heart. So clearly, if you're claiming that you have your community's best interests at heart, and the community don't have Black men's best interests at heart, we see students over here, but I mean,
2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3, quick maths.
The math is not mathing. And y'all, believe it or not, this conversation right here is what caused Courtney to lie on my reputation and say that I've had multiple abortions. This conversation triggered Courtney so much to the point where she felt the need to lie on my reputation, say I have multiple abortions, say that I'm a homosexual, just because I said, hey, Black men's best interests aren't being considered, not even put first, because that's a stretch. We're not even talking about putting Black men's best interests first, because if Black men's best interests come first, our interests become fulfilled. We already know if we claim we're Christians, it's God, men, women, children. So therefore, if we're protected by our men and our men's needs are being met, we benefit from it. But we're not even talking about putting their interests first. We're talking about just keeping their interests into consideration. Me saying, I'm going to continue that. I'm going to continue the clip. I don't want to jump ahead. But me saying, hey, let's put Black men's interests into consideration, keep Black men's best interests at heart, caused her to now spread lies on my reputation, caused her to be hopping from panels talking about how much abortions I've had, talking about I'm a homosexual, just because I said want to Black men's best interest. Barry said, Chantel, put a bottle in that baby mouth. Hey, let the baby speak. He had it add into the conversation. Shout out to you, Barry. And Barry was the one who he had said to everyone, Courtney, there are 350 Vivica A. Foxes, but Courtney is as bad as a Vivica A. Fox. Courtney is a KKKisha. Go ahead and hit the like button. Let's continue, y'all.
I have our future's best interest at heart. I have the children that are here best interest at heart. It's bigger than me. It's way bigger than me. And again, when I see, and Richie, I sent this to you, and I'll play it as well. When women are getting together, and we can show women that are and change our image of Black women here, and give young girls images of women to look up to, besides the Cardi B's, besides the Meg Thee Stallions. That's also the work. Is women seeing Black women looking like a Dorothy Dandridge instead of city girls. That's also the work. It's changing Black women's image. And that's part of it as well. But we have to, that's part of it that's here. Everyone knows that American culture travels. And so the image of Black women is going to be the image that they think of Black women when they go overseas as well, too. So it's, again, more than just marriage is a business to me, but it's also our changing our image. And I have to do that here because it's important, again, to me. So it's not who has man's best interest at heart. It's you might be speaking to someone, but again, I'm not trying to necessarily just speak to men. I want a platform of women. I want to speak to those. And I'm grateful that my analytics are showing more women. Not only that, my analytics is showing that I got 24-year-olds listening to me. That might not mean much to you, but it means a hell of a lot to me because that means that these women that are past the wall and the baby mamas, young girls are now starting to listen to as well. It might be a small amount, and I'm fine with that. I'm not trying to change the world, but I believe if I have a platform that is showing what we should be doing and what we should have been doing and what we got wrong, and I'm seeing my analytics and I'm getting messages from 20-year-olds, and I'm specifically getting messages from men that are showing their teenagers my stuff. That's powerful, and I'm not giving up on that. I'm not giving up on our children or nothing because they deserve love. I'm sorry. But our kids, no one's talking about them. Who they gonna go to? Who they supposed to look up to?
When what is it? 53% of Black men are childless. Do y'all think Courtney's tears is about y'all children or Black women and her children? But that's not what the conversation is about. Shout out to Redrick for the support. Said, I like your content. Keep up the good work. Big up yourself. Shout out to you. And thank you so much for being in here with your support. Shout out to all of y'all.
You got money. He got money.
I'm trying to rush through this because I don't want to stay too long, but let's continue.
We keep talking how bad Black women are, but let's have some good Black women. So these little girls have something to look up to. I'm so tired of all the bashing and content creators trying to prove points.
All the bashing.
Because we're still hurting. I'm not on here
all the bashing. Typical hyena talking point.
Be the best content creator or who's a pygmy. I don't give a damn. What about their children? I'm tired of, I don't know if this and that. Who gives a damn? I'm not speaking. I'm not trying to be the male speaker. I'm trying to work in our community. I'm passionate about that shit.
How do you not give a damn? But at the same time, you're saying you're working on the community. No, if y'all remember, y'all put a 1 in the chat. If y'all remember my question, what about Black men's best interests? A simple question. What about Black men's best interests? And hear the rant that she just went on. What about the children? What about the women? There's still some good women around. Okay, sis, we can talk about that. But what about Black men's best interests? That is what the conversation was about. Shout out to Nelson Media. I asked a simple question. The best interest of the men of the community that you're trying to save. Now, all of a sudden, you're saying that I've had multiple abortions. All of a sudden, you're saying I'm a homosexual for asking, what about the interests of Black men? Courtney Michelle is so concerned about what I have to say about Pearl, but she doesn't expect me to talk about what she said about me. For those of y'all who just coming in and might be a little confused, I'm going to drop the link in a minute so y'all can come up and talk. She's so concerned about what I have to say about pearly things and the manosphere, a space that me as a female, born female, don't even belong in. But I should not talk about what she said about me. Is this not putting me down? Is this not the same as if any white Karen putting down a Black man, trying to destroy his reputation? You want me to insert myself in a conversation that I don't even belong in unless I'm invited by a man in the manosphere to discuss manosphere issues. You will not see Chantel Simone discussing manosphere issues. I know my place. What I'm going to be discussing is when a hyena trying to ruin my reputation. All because I said, what about Black men's interests? All because I say Black women, Black ladies, young ladies, do not go out in the dating market with used womb. That's the conversation I'm going to have. You can't expect me to be angry at a white girl when you yourself as a Black woman has been trying to ruin my reputation. You want me to overlook the enemy that's within to go fight the enemy outside. Meanwhile, the enemy within is poisoning my lemonade. Make it make sense. I'm supposed to leave my lemonade with the enemy within and go fight the enemy outside. Meanwhile, The lemonade, the enemy within is the one who poisoning my lemonade. I should not even address that the enemy within is poisoning my lemonade. I should go fight enemy within. Without, y'all know what I'm talking about. 6 1, half dozen the other. I'm going to always bring up this quote. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. Courtney Michelle saying I have assigned seats at Planned Parenthood is an example of the enemy within the Black community. How we outside fighting outside enemies when the enemies within is right here within us. How we doing that? Where that makes sense? Big up yourself. Let me get to the super chats, and then I promise y'all I'll get through it, and then I'll click the link. Doug said, women like Courtney are the reasons why the culture is burning down around us. Thanks, Chantel, for all that you do. They set fire to the culture and then bawl that the culture is burning. And if anybody was to say, hey, but you set fire to the culture, then they say, but your mama Black, how dare you talk and play the victim card? We're going to get into it. As right as the rain. I got this. Said the first time watch CS, but if Michonne approved, Michonne gave me the stamp of approval. Y'all, I'm going to tell my mama. Shout out to Adonis, said, not to be funny, but see those tears a lot. She knows how to bring it up. Yeah, and oh gosh, Adonis. But once you notice, you can't unsee the time in no community without men leading. Adonis, them tears lasted not but 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes, pardon me. Them tears lasted not but 2 seconds. When she realized that I was not biting the bait of those tears, because y'all already know. If y'all don't know, I have some new people in my channel. Big up yourself. Thank you for coming over. I was born and raised Kingston, Jamaica. I was born and raised with the mindset, what the hell you crying for? When I just got spanking, they just beat me and go turn around and look at me and say, what you bawling for? Who gave you anything to cry for? You just did. You just did. You are why I'm crying. Like, what? I know how tears can't faze me. I know how to not let tears faze me. Those are the Karen tears, Austin said. Those were the Karen tears, and those tears don't faze me because, ma'am, did I give you anything to cry for? I asked you a simple question, but let us continue. Let us continue. Shout out to all of y'all. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank y'all so much for being over here and supporting. I gotta play this for y'all.
I'm just trying to figure out who trying to get fluid out there. You trying to get fluid out, bitch, or what, bitch? Love with you, man.
All right, let's continue. And then also another thing, somebody who on a platform bawling all these tears, you all would really think she had it in her to accuse me of having multiple abortion. Like, dang, sis. All those tears, you were a little, oh my gosh, poor me. You were a little victim. And then all of a sudden you on platform accusing me of having multiple abortions. Well,
that's what I said earlier. I think you're just not understanding the perspective.
I cannot debate. I'm not trying to debate. And it's nothing for me to try to understand. I know what needs to be done.
Courtney, can you hear me out? Can I finish the sentence?
Go ahead.
All right, so y'all heard when I said she's not trying to understand a perspective. She said there's nothing for me to understand. I said a perspective. This is typical hyena behavior. They stand 10 toes down. That need to be right. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. That need to be right. Stand 10 toes down. Don't even want to hear a perspective. As I said, I had no beef with Courtney Michelle before I called up on this stream. She was talking what she was talking, and I called up to present an alternative perspective. She didn't need to agree with the perspective, but can you understand where the men are coming from? How can we fix a community if we're not willing to even understand where the other side is coming from? What relationship can work if you're not even willing to understand where I'm coming from? You can't give me the respect of understanding where I'm coming from. Disagree with me all you want, but you can't listen to my perspective. No, she says she's not here to hear another perspective. She just wants to save the community. She wants to save the baby mamas. She wants to save the long titty big bones. One thing I want to point out, because Courtney's son husbands, you know, I know Auntie Allen go eat this up. Y'all notice that I have, in that whole conversation, I have yet to disrespect Courtney Michelle, call her out of her name or anything like that. When I talk about the baby mamas, it hit her because she's a baby mama, but I was not highlighting her. Y'all notice that this was not personal until Courtney took it personal. Did not attack her personally because I know how to win a debate without having to attack you personally. I know how to bury you without having to talk about your looks. I was in the debate club in high school. I know how to do that without taking it personal. I see these content creators in back and forth debates, and it's all personal attack. It's all how they look, how they dress, how they talk. Oh, your accent. TJ had a full, I don't know what beef me and TJ in. Lord, TJ in a whole beef with me by herself over there, still beefing. TJ had a beef at the cookout by herself, still beefing. But she talking about my accent. Oh, I'll never, someone who don't know the difference between woman and woman. Okay, but you know what I'm talking about. Use context clue. Focus on the message that I'm saying. Let's continue though. As I said, we call out the hyenas over here. Typical hyena behavior to take attention away from the message and focus on the person.
I'm nobody trying to debate you. I'm presenting an alternative perspective because we live in a world with many perspectives, right? To be so hard-headed on one perspective will be doing the whole community a disadvantage. That's why I said I don't think you are understanding the perspective that I've been trying to present for almost an hour now. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what you're doing, but look at it from the other perspective. You're asking men to put up with a market that's trash. You said it, the dating market is trash. Yes, you have faith that you can change the world. Yes, you have faith that you can influence these girls. Shout out to you. That is why I started my channel, for women like you, so we can sit together and talk together because we have the similar mindset. However, in that meantime, what should the men do? The men can't be sitting around waiting for women who have been disrespecting them for years, since Oprah time. Sister Shahrazad Ali, over 30 years. And the same thing is happening. You're telling men, oh, give us another 30 years and hopefully it will change. If it hasn't changed in 30 years, why on earth would these men hold on to hope that it's changing? Why not encourage them to go elsewhere to find wives, while you encourage these young girls to become wives, so the sons of these men can find wives in America when it's their time? That's just a different perspective I'm trying to present to you. And I honestly don't think
y'all put a 1 in the chat if I was clear. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand that perspective. The current men, the men who are trying to find wives right now. Malcolm, I see you in the building. I don't know you personally, but I'm going to use you as an example. Malcolm and Gar. Stefan, I see you in here. Y'all want wives right now, and you look around and the current dating market is trash. As Courtney Michelle admitted, and as I agree, the current dating market is trash. There's pee in the dating pool, and it's women peed in it. I strongly believe that it is trash. While y'all instead of sticking around waiting for this trash to no longer be trash, which we already know you cannot turn a hoe into a wife. So instead of staying around waiting for these long titty baby mamas to get perky titties, why not just go elsewhere and find some perky titties? In the meanwhile, how about we teach our young kids, the kids of the long titty baby mamas, to not become baby mamas? Do not get long titties, because it's going to be hard to find a man of value. Put a 1 in the chat. I see the ones. If y'all understand where I was coming from. Run to the chopper.
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper instead of staying with these long titty big bone sisters. Get to the choppers, the men who currently want wives right now. While y'all over there with the choppers, how about we work with the young girls? We groom the young girls. We teach our young girls how to be wives. So 10, 15 years, when they go out in the dating market, men don't have to run to the choppers to find wife, because wives will be right here. This is how we course correct. No, Courtney want y'all to settle with the long titties baby mamas, the big bone long titties in the community. Courtney Michelle wants y'all to pick up the long titties and save them. Save the long titties from hanging. I'm glad that y'all understood where I was coming from. I'm glad that y'all were able to understand what I was saying. She didn't. But let us continue. I'll get to the super chats in a minute.
I think you're seeing where I'm coming from.
Okay, so again, it's becoming a fight. And I'm not, as your perspective is your perspective. You can do what you want to do. No one is stopping you. I've never came on no page of yours and said SYCBM. I don't do that to you. You do it to me.
Pause right there. You pause right there. I'm going to need the receipts. I've been asked y'all 5 months ago, please provide the receipts where I went over to Courtney Michelle's page and said SYS whatever. Please provide the receipt where you've ever seen Chantel Simone in Courtney Michelle's comment section, in Courtney Michelle's chat. Ever. I'm not talking about recent. I'm saying ever. As I said, since she came on the scene, my spirit didn't take her. As a Jamaican, I know what that means. If your spirit don't take somebody, you keep your distance. Now, there are a lot of content creators my spirit didn't take, and I still associated with them, and I had to deal with the consequences. There were a lot of baby mamas that my spirit didn't take, who would move the goalposts in every single one of my chat. The baby mama over here talking about not all. The baby mama over here talk, but my spirit didn't take them, and I still associated with them, and I had to deal with the consequences. Courtney Michelle, my spirit didn't take, and I didn't deal with her. I didn't associate with her. I didn't go in her chat. I wasn't on her comment section. I was nowhere to be found over on Courtney Michelle. Not even a check-in to say, hey, showing support. I did not do that because I'm not a hypocrite. Like a lot of these, the enemies of my enemies are my friends. I'm not a hypocrite. So if my spirit don't take you, I keep my distance. I'm not going to fake it with you or anything like that. According to her, I do it to her. Trying to play the victim card. I'm going to rewind that in case y'all missed it, because she said it so fast. That's how the hyenas do it. Trying to play the victim card. Now, anybody who is watching going to be thinking that I have been harassing her with this old passport, bros. Get your passport, man. As if I have a dog in the fight. What the hell I look like coming on telling men what to do? What the hell I look like getting on platform harassing another woman over men that don't even... If these men get their passport or if they don't get their passport, what is it to me? Why would I be harassing Courtney Michelle? It's typical hyena talk, and I'm waiting to hear. Jeff, big up yourself. That's that whole, the enemy of my enemy is my friend mindset. That's that hypocrisy mindset. But I'm waiting to hear her take accountability for all of this. Because if we're going to be mad at Pearl, if we're going to be so pissed off at Pearl, and not pissed off at what Courtney Michelle did, we're going to have to talk about our hypocrisy. As I said, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. And if Karen is trying to destroy a black man's reputation and Courtney is trying to destroy my reputation, Karen and Courtney is no different. I'm going to continue this real quick. I see the callers back there. I'll drop the link once again for y'all to come up, but I see y'all back there.
Never came on no page of yours and said SYCBM. I don't do that to you. You do it to me.
Courtney, that's not, I did not.
I gotta finish what I'm gonna say, please. You do your work what you see fit. I hear every perspective because I'm actually a woman that get on all the platforms. I speak to every subsect of men. The platforms that have 200 subs, I'm on there listening and supporting because I want to know every side because that's important to me. I can't.
You know, when I said earlier that I know my place and y'all don't be seeing me on platform hopping, panel hopping. I know my place, and the only time you'll see me on platform is because if when I'm invited, because I respect that the manosphere is a space for men. And unless they invite me into their space, they're not going to see me in their space. I just had to point that out real quick because this is why this whole conflict is happening right now. Because women don't know their space. They don't know their lane. They hop onto any platform that drop the link to show their face. So a few sims can lust at them. A few people can call them attractive. They don't allow men to have the conversation and they step aside and allow men to have a conversation. And then if a man say, hey, call up, like Richie Mack did, reach out to Gail. Gail reached out to me to call up on the platform. I can count on one hand how many content creators I've ever called up on without a direct invitation. And majority of the time I be in the chat and they invite me to call up. A lot of the time I don't call up. Yeah, it's no disrespect. And I honestly do feel like I'm disrespecting them when they say, feel free to come up, Chantel. But it's like, there's nothing I can add to the conversation that these these men aren't adding. They're doing a great job maintaining the conversation. All I can do is silently sit there and listen. If you want me to make you a lemonade or two, I will make you the lemonade or two, but I'm not going to be inserting myself in the war with you. I am so sorry. Backstory, y'all, I was trying to do some yard work the other day, right? Trying to help out, trying to do some yard work, men work, work that was made for men. And I got a blister on my feet. I was like, I'll go in the kitchen, y'all. I'll make some lemonade. I'll go to the kitchen. I'm not inserting myself where men are supposed to be. I'm not, unless I'm invited, I am not going to insert myself. And that's why we're where we're at now. That's why we're at now, because these women don't know their place. These women don't know how to fall back and allow the men to have a conversation about the manosphere. They want to insert themselves, hopping on panels. So how you hopping on panel, but you don't care about men's perspective? Make it make sense. How you hopping on panel, but you don't want to hear nobody's perspective? That means that you're hopping on panel just to share your perspective. You hopping on panel to tell men what to do, not to listen. But let us continue. Let us go ahead and continue. Shout out to the baby in the background.
I'm up on folks that people probably don't even know. I was on someone's channel yesterday listening to a whole nother perspective that I didn't even understand, but I gave my opening ear because I want to listen and get some kind of understanding. But I don't know how to make it clearer.
What I just said went completely over your head.
No, I don't. You have to let me finish speaking, please.
But what I just said went completely over your head, and that's when I left a comment earlier that we're talking in circles, because no, you're moving the goal. I'm
not moving any goal.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Well, you can drop.
I will. Richie,
hyena.
Thank you.
That's not what I want.
No, that's not it. No, that's not it. I just said something that 30 years men have been waiting for change in Shahrazad Ali's time. I support you, Courtney. I support what you are doing. That is what you are talking about, and what I'm talking about is two completely different things. Okay. You're not saying that I get on platform to attack you, and you never, like, that's not what we're talking about, Courtney. We're on the same side. What I'm saying is that men have been waiting. We're going to say it started with Shahrazad Ali over 30 years ago. Men have been waiting to see the change that you want to happen for 30 years. It has not happened yet. Why not encourage these men to go find wives elsewhere while we work with the daughters? So those men's son, those kids, when they're already for marriage, the girls that me, both you, Gail, the Nika Marie, all the quote unquote pick me in the space, those girls that we helped, we worked on, their sons will have wives. This is not an argument. This is not a back and forth. This is me trying to get us to work together while men who are marriage minded now go find their wives elsewhere.
Okay, so I'm going to try to finish my point that
Oh my God.
No. I know Courtney went to school. I know she went to school. I know she went up to university level. I don't know what degree she had, but I know she went to university level. A perspective as clear as that, she couldn't understand. Hold on. A perspective that is as clear as that, she couldn't understand. And if y'all would believe it or not, y'all saw the video. Y'all saw how it started. That was my first interaction with Courtney. After that interaction, as I said, Auntie Allen took over the conversation from her about the whole savior community. We had a 2-hour live right before I went to watch what's that one DC movie with The Rock? Some Adam, Black Adam or something like that. Had to rush the conversation because I had tickets for Black Adam. After I watched Black Adam, I said, you know what, I'm gonna just drop it. No more. I'm not going back and forth with anybody about passport growth versus save the community. First of all, I don't have a dog in the fight. Second of all, if a group of men want to save a community of long titty baby mamas, big bone baby mamas, what I have to do with me? If a group of men want to go overseas and get their passport, what I have to do with me? Let me just drop it. Months after, Courtney Michelle in my chat, I have an assigned seat at Planned Parenthood. Why? Because I said, young ladies, don't be coming on the dating market with long titties and used womb. It lowers your chance of finding a man of value. And Courtney knows this. Courtney knows that it lowers your value if you have long titties and used womb on the dating market, because she wouldn't be out here bawling on the internet talking about men, please save the community. So she knows that this is a fact. I'm not lying about anything. So why did she need to come and distract from the conversation and say that I have an assigned seat at Planned Parenthood? That is the question that need answers. Now, last video I'm gonna show, and this is short, y'all. This is really short. Last video I'm gonna show is when she highlighted her hypocrisy. And I'm like, sis, do you not know that people can see you? That people can see you and people can hear you? Hold on, let me show this real quick. Let me see. Shout out to y'all. I see y'all back there. If you guys haven't already, please go ahead and hit the like button. I'm gonna pull y'all up in a minute. Right after I show this. Wait, start here. Alrighty. Shout out to Bernie Mac. Rest in peace.
Abortions. No, fast forward 2 months later, someone sent me this clip of Courtney Michelle.
Today, I was blatantly lied on. And you guys know that I come with receipts. And the receipts are important because it's proof. What I like.
I'm going to just pause it right here and allow us to just laugh at the comedy. Courtney said, because y'all know I come with receipts because receipts are proof. Let us go ahead and continue.
I like to do on my page is, you know, if I say something or if I feel a way, I just don't come up here and just tell you how I feel. I break it down and I say, this is why I feel this way. Well, this person said this and that and that and that. But it's unfortunate because the integrity that I have on my page, the integrity and the amount of time that I do put in my shows, a lot of people don't have it. And then when I go.
Okay. Let us continue.
Go to pages and I look at streams. People just want to say whatever to get their rocks off with no proof or no evidence. And then I see there are weirdos in the chat that agree. And I'm like, man, some of our people are really slow.
All right.
Some of our people don't need to see any evidence of anything, just someone saying it and then they believe it.
Well. How the turntables.
When Courtney
shouts out to The Office. Yeah. And I'm gonna go back to the question of and I put it in the poll. 361 votes. Are KKKourtneys any better than Karens? 7% said yes. 93% said no. Courtney Michelle is a KKKourtney because she heard what I said and she got triggered, so she tried to ruin my reputation. Now, as I posted on my community tab, if it's one thing I can remember learning when I was younger is that how important your reputation is. Your reputation is all you have. Your reputation is you. Your reputation represents your family name and the people who raised you. You cannot stand by while somebody tries to ruin your reputation just because they're triggered. Courtney attempted to ruin my reputation by saying that I've had multiple abortions, though she has no evidence of it. She continued to dig down on that point and said that I am homosexual because I have no kids out of wedlock. She went on platforms after platforms, panels on panels, had other content creators making streams about me, hours-long streams about me and having multiple abortions. Courtney has not once provided any evidence on that, no receipts at all. She's just talking straight out of her emotions, straight out of her being triggered. That's the problem. If we're going to get upset over Karens lying on Black men, false rape accusation, I put Amber on the thumbnail for a reason. When white Karens do it and lie on Black men's reputation and spread lies on their names, and a lot of them lose their scholarships over false rape accusations, the Black community is outraged. The Black community gets so mad at those white Karens. We march and we form organizations to raise money and stuff. But at the same time, the very same time, a Black woman who claims to be pro-Black, who claims to put the Black community first and cares so much about the Black community, she's going so hard on pearly things. But she's doing the same thing that these white Karens be doing. The math is not mathing. And I'm calling it out. Once calling out the hypocrisy. Courtney, if you have evidence, show your evidence. But you're not going to ruin my reputation just because you're triggered, sis. Let me bring up callers. Shout out to you, High Value Wives. Wait, hold on. Actually, before I do, let me get to the super chat real quick. I think I missed a few. And Game Changer, I'll just bring you because you both back there. Somebody else was back there, but he left. If you want to, feel free to come back if you can. Doug had said, women like Courtney are the reasons why the culture burning down around us. Thanks, Chantel, for all that you do. Big up yourself, Doug. Shout out to you for being in here. Adonis said, I think I read this. Not funny. Jason Black, I see you back there. If you can please flash your camera, because I'm not with the trolls today. Adonis said, not to be funny, but see these tears a lot. No, I already read that. Yeah, the lies, the chameleon tears. Milton said, Courtney, this whole week has been cussing Black men out, calling them idiots and the C word, but then we'll turn around and ask them to save the community. How easily were we able to switch on our Black men who's supposed to be saving the community? Calling these men idiots and the C word just so easily. Like, how easy were you to disrespect the men of the community just because you triggered? Yardi, big up yourself. Yardi said, Courtney Michelle is somewhat cute by her being a baby mama by choice. She's almost 40 and sometimes immature turn me off. Give a Chantel all big up yourself. Her immaturity. She's too emotional. She's way too emotional. Kid Gravity, I see you back there. If you can please flash your camera for me and I'll let you up. And it's not only Courtney, but this is how all right, I see you. Thank you. This is how a lot of Black women are. They bring their emotions to the conversation. That's why they say things like, you're bashing us. She said it in the clip that I showed earlier. Holding them accountable means that you're bashing. Highlighting how your behavior are toxic is bashing. How dare you check me because I'm your mama? But mama, all your kids got different last name. Can we have that conversation so your daughters don't follow the same pattern? Can we have that conversation without it being bashing? King Gravity, I'll pull you up. If you don't want to be on camera, you can turn off your camera now. The Truth 908. Truth 908 said, keep fighting a good fight. But again, I asked, am I talking to Shan or Chantel? Oh, King. The Truth, you're talking to Chantel today. You should already know that. Come on, man. King, the Truth is the Shan today. Pardon me, who I said. This is Shan today. Yeah, it's Shan today because I'm not going to let nobody talk on my reputation like that. And it's not Shan.
I said what I said.
Reality check, speak up yourself. You are torching these hyenas. Manny Fears is about traditional women. Hyenas can't tell a man to reject a traditional woman of any color. We build families by any means necessary. Big up yourself, big up yourself. Those were all the super chats that I had starred. And actually, I skipped past this too fast. Reality checks when she said, Manny Fears is about traditional women. Hyenas can't tell men to reject traditional women. And to see how many women talking about how trying to dictate what men should be saying or who men should be listening to, trying to be the forefront of the conversation, just opened my eyes to realize how out of order we are. And this is sidetrack. High value wives, remember your point. All of y'all, remember y'all point, because I don't want to sidetrack and then we change the conversation. But the manosphere. Emphasis on man. If I'm pronouncing it right, correct me if I'm wrong. But if it's a space for men and they're at war, battle, argument, disagreement, whatever you want to call it, why are women leading the conversation? Why are women at the forefront? Why not support the men to defend and protect their space while we go make them some lemonade? I mean, High Value Wives, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you so much for calling up, and shout out to you for your patience.
Oh, no problem. I've been enjoying the stream. You have made so many good points, and I know we're working with a limited amount of time, so I'm going to try to be quick. But I want to say that, this isn't just like an L for Courtney. Like, this is an L for women. Because each time a woman is exposed for lying and reputation destruction, it continues to ruin the credibility of women. So somebody, like a guy, can see what Courtney did, and he'll say to himself and to his friends that, see, man, that's why you can't trust these women. It's not going to be, this is why you can't trust Courtney, or this is why you can't trust Amber Heard. This has been a pattern with women. I mean, since I can remember, Jim Crow, when white women used to lie on black men and said that, maybe they were raped by them, he whistled at me. This has been our pattern. And so now men are starting to wake up, and they're starting to see us as liars, as people who can't be trusted. So each time a woman is exposed, it continues to cement that truth, we'll call it, in their minds about women. And this is why women, when they claim that they were, let's say, R-worded, now people are starting to, second guess. Whereas, back then, the further you go back, people were quicker to believe women. But now, people are second guessing women. And it's because of stuff like this. And so we really need to learn from this. And Jordan Peterson, he touched on this. He touched on the negative traits that women have intrinsically. And they're vindictiveness, connivance, verbal attacks, innuendo, gossip, reputation destruction, false allegations, lies. This is how we demonstrate our aggression. And men tend to demonstrate aggression through physical violence. So on both sides, we both need to work on it. So for women, this is something we need to work on. I don't care how mad you get. I don't care how you feel about somebody. I don't care, how bad your baby daddy hurt you. Lies and reputation destruction, they're unacceptable, and they should be shamed. You hear people, in these spaces talk about bringing shame back. Well, this is an opportunity for it. If this girl is being exposed for lying on you, she should be shamed for that, and she should shame herself. I'm not saying burn her at the stake forever, but initially, when when everyone is finding out that this happened, there should be shame. And for the men on her side, I'm gonna call them out, that are protecting her during this time. You're only doing yourself more harm than good, because the same men will turn around and complain about how women lie, or about how maybe their baby mama is dragging them through family court and she's making up lies on him to get custody of the kids, or just stuff like that. So it's a contradiction to the message that they would even stand for. Because I was reading the comments and I saw some men in the comments, it was kind of split. You had some men that were shaming her, but then you had some men who were, protecting her. And you're not helping her. For people who are close to Courtney, whether you're close friends or whether you're just, YouTube buddies, you would do well to hold her accountable. If you really care about her, if you really love her, you would tell her the truth. It is unacceptable to make this type of false allegation that makes you a liar. And you have to be held accountable for that. Y'all want to talk about accountability all the time. Hold her accountable. It doesn't mean you hate her. It doesn't mean you don't like her anymore. You can still be friends with her after you hold her accountable. But you need to let her know that is unacceptable. You can dislike the girl all you want, but you don't lie. And to take it a step further, if you witness somebody do something like this to somebody, you have to question, will she do it to you? You've demonstrated how far you're willing to go when somebody upsets you. What will happen if I upset you, intentionally or unintentionally? So if you love her, you would hold her accountable. And if she's listening, Courtney, the right thing to do is to apologize. If you were wrong, it is wrong to make up a false allegation like this. So you need to apologize.
What did you say it was? Reputation what?
Reputation destruction.
Reputation.
And that came from Jordan Peterson.
And that's a pattern with women. They're quick to lie. They're quick to make up stories. I mean, let me not even say they. We are quick to lie. We are
Mhm.
quick to make up stories from the beginning of time. Shout out to Family Values being in here. From the beginning of time, if you want to bring up old stories, we lie on men. We make up stories to get our way. It's a toxic trait that we have. And I like that you
Yeah.
said if she so easily, I brought y'all way back to the beginning of the any interactions that I've ever had with Courtney. So y'all see, we don't talk nothing behind the scenes. The one time Courtney emailed me, she hasn't emailed me ever since I was here. She was spreading lies about how she reached out to me and I didn't contact her back. I gave someone access to my email for them to run through my email to make sure I didn't overlook the email, because y'all know me and emails. Only one email I've ever gotten from her, she was asking me to come to the if women belong in the manosphere conversation, and I denied it. If all it took was for me to say, hey, can you see a perspective of the passport bros? And then she said, well, you all it stemmed from there. And then no, it resulted in her spreading lies and trying to tarnish my reputation.
Yeah,
That's all it took.
unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
And you know
And it's
what?
I
I
want to
saw
say,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
before you say, I want to say this is not an attack on Courtney, but it's an attack on the behavior that she did. I want to emphasize that if it was anybody else, I would have been having the conversation. But Courtney demonstrated toxic behavior, and she needs to be held accountable. I'm already taking my personal. I mean, you already know I'm dealing with it on my end. But as YouTube and YouTubers, and we claim that we're on the same page. If we're going to hold women accountable, hold them all accountable. Go ahead, High Value Wife.
Yeah, I mean, that's so true. And I'm glad that, you put that reminder in there, because we constantly need to be reminded to not attack the person, but to attack what they did and what they said. Because even with, the Pearl drama that was going on, there were a lot of attacks, like you mentioned earlier, about, how the way she looks. And that has nothing to do with the argument, and it makes us look very immature. A lot of us are 30 and up. I was doing that back in high school. Like, we used to roast people in the hallways. I'm a grown woman now. I don't care about how another woman looks, and that woman can't help how she looks. So it's a very ugly thing to do, for women to talk about another woman's looks as if that's something that she had, control over. Maybe you're cute, maybe you're beautiful, but everybody wasn't blessed with that. So it's such a lack of, humility, to want to humiliate somebody in that way. So like I said, I think it's a good reminder that we have to focus on what the person said and what they did, not what they look like, what they smell like, not how they dress. That is very immature. So as far as the argument itself, no, I'm sorry, that's not what I wanted to hit on. I wanted to hit on the post that she made this morning, and how she conflated the situation with Pearl and her beef with you. And it's like, and I feel like this is it's almost like a deflection / manipulation tactic, that was used to say that, hey, Chantelle, I know you calling me out, but let's talk about how you've been silent on this whole Pearl issue. It's like, it's like somebody confronting me about owing them money. And I say, yeah, I know I owe you money, but let's talk about how you didn't vote. Yeah, I didn't see you at the polls. Yeah, you didn't vote. Let's talk about that. And it's like, no, let's talk about the money you owe me. That's what I brought up. So it's like, I'm using a deflection tactic to get people's minds off of what I did. What I did is I lied on you. I said that you had multiple deletions. And instead of owning up to that, I bring Pearl into this. What does Pearl have to do with what you said? And it's I mean, is accountability, is it that bad? Like, does it hurt that bad to just say, you know what? I was in a dark place. I was trying to hurt you. I apologize. That was immature. I'd have more respect. Yeah, I still wouldn't like it, because you still showed us that you're willing to lie on somebody, but at least I could have more respect for you if you would apologize. But you double down and then add a sprinkle of deflection on top of it. No. Don't look at what I did over here. Don't look over here. Look over here. Look at Pearl. Everybody look at Pearl. Don't pay any attention to the lie that I just told. Everybody pay attention to Pearl, So I feel like, like I said, we need to learn. We need to learn from this. She has to be accountable, but at the same time, women, we're all prone to this. I believe this is all intrinsically in us to deflect, to use sign language when our feelings are hurt. And so it's like you said, it's not about bashing Courtney. It's about holding her accountable. One, bringing back that shame that we always talk about. And also, how can we apply this as women to our lives? Are we doing this in our personal lives? It's easy to get on YouTube and act like you're all perfect and there's nothing wrong with you and you got people in your comments praising you. Who are you in real life? Do you do any of this? Do you do it to your husband, your moms, your sisters, your friends? Do you use sign language instead of taking accountability? So let's not only hold her accountable, shame her, not forever, but just for now, but let's also look in the mirror at ourselves and make sure that we're not doing the same thing.
100% and well said. I could not agree with you more. And I have to give you your credit for taking it off, Courtney, and for saying, out of love, because if our mission is to better the community, if you care about the woman and the children, we're going to need to correct the woman's behavior too. We cannot say we care about the community, but we don't want to be corrected when we mess up. Someone has said something that I highlighted, but then I lost it. Something about code. Shout out to Enherthly. And shout out to you. Thank you so much for being a channel member. Let me see if I can find it. And shout out to the baby in the background. Boy Black said, is this part of her code? And that's another thing that I want to touch on. When we talk about code, staying on code, but what is the code? If the code is a fellow Black woman saying, you've had multiple abortions just because she is triggered, that's not a code that I want to stay on, because the code that I'm on is tearing me down, is putting me at a disadvantage, is messing up my mental illness. And it just reminds me of how Black men are always bashed, always belittled, but then at the same time expected to stay on code with the KKKourtneys. That's belittling them. I'm experiencing firsthand what Black men have been going through from Courtney Michelle. How are you going to be calling me, saying that I have a Planned Parenthood, but then at the same time expecting me to stay on code with you to bash Pearl or to attack Pearl or whatever y'all doing over there with Pearl? It don't make no sense. And no fake apology is going to get me on board with you, but I'm not going to forget what you did to me before the whole Pearl situation happened. Because as High Value Wife said, who's to say you're not going to do it again once this situation died down? No.
Man, this is some bullshit.
Shout out to Dallas D. Let me get to the super chats and then I'll get to you, Game Changer. No, I think I missed this one. Randall said, don't be bothered by this hyena, Chantel. Check out Crimson Cure's grilling of that fake woman. She was kicked off. Lapeef. Crimson Cure's grilling of this fake woman. Crimson Cure grilled Courtney? I don't remember that. If you drop the link if you have it. Shout out to Dallas D said, the community does need to be saved, but Black women who need to save it since they're actively engaged in the destruction. Sis, common sense over here. Shout out to you, sis. Thank you so much. So much for using your common sense.
Use your common sense.
Salty Balls, big up yourself. Among the brothers, CM has a new nickname. I dream of Weenie. Big up yourself. Again, Salty Balls, I'll never get over that name. Said, Book of Scholars 1:9. There is a lady of whom the spirit of the great nanny runs through her vein, who hails from the South Beach. She speak with authority and definition of truth, accountability from the village square. She is Shan. Big up yourself. I don't hear from South Beach. But I get what you're saying. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for your support. Yardley again said Courtney's a baby mama. She can't lead. Sit down, sis. I have a huge problem of these baby mamas leading the conversation too, but that's a different topic. We're the wives, the woman who had kids in wedlock. Shout out to, who was it? I think it was Bella. I think it was Bella. I slickly asked her when she had her kid. No, was it Bella? I don't remember. But there was somebody I slickly asked when I was doing a collab with them when they had their kids, because I'm tired of these baby mamas having these conversations. I'm tired of these unmarried women, myself included, having the conversation. I want to see more wives, and that's why I'm always pushing wives channel. If mods can please drop High Value Wife, drop Mona, drop Bella, drop family values, anybody who I'm forgetting, Gail, anybody who I'm forgetting, and you know they're solid content creators who are wives and who had their babies in wedlock and did it the right way. They don't have to be course correcting. Those are who we need to be learning from. Drop their channel in the chat, please. Wokewill, I said pro-black made more videos against Pearl than in support of Shanquella. Ooh, more proof that it's a movement of victimhood versus progression for Black. Oh, I'm not even. I don't know if it's I don't know what the movement is about. I don't know if it's. I can't agree with the last part you said, but that's a great observation about the more videos of against Pearl than to support Shanquella, because even the other day I was thinking, what the hell happened to her case? That case just evaporated. Like, were her friends even arrested? Like, what's going on with that? Shout out to you, Wokewill. And again, shout out to N. Herthley. I think I said that right. For becoming a channel member. Shout out to all of y'all. Thank you so much for being in here.
Money. He got money.
Those were all the ones I starred while High Value Wives was talking. Game Changer will go to you, and then I'll start the rest. Game Changer, what are your thoughts?
Okay, thank you. So High Value Wife said something that's worth noting, and that's the concept of crying wolf. I think women have done that a lot, and we've all experienced it, especially as men. Perhaps not as a false rape accusation or anything criminal, but just generally speaking on something minor, like oh, your ex-girlfriend telling everybody you have a small manhood or something like that. Or, if you hit on a girl, or if a girl hits on you and you're not interested, then she spreads the rumor that you're not into women. Like that is something that's commonplace and is done so often and so frequently. Men have become desensitized about it, and it's lost all credibility. Now, unfortunately for Chantelle, that's not necessarily true when it's woman on woman. It does hold a little bit of weight. It does hold a little bit of credibility. So, the damage is still far more, perhaps not as much as a false rape accusation, but it is a damage to her reputation and her, integrity as a woman. So it's not something to be taken lightly. And on the videos that you were talking about, when you
wait, before you say that, I think when women make those false accusations, because it has been taken lightly, like, men will just brush it off when they say things like, you have a small PP, or those gym videos, when you look in, like, not even 2 seconds in her direction, and oh my gosh, he's staring at me, and men haven't really been pushing back on it, and those false claims have been taken lightly, then they kind of expect for it to be taken lightly. They don't expect for anybody to retaliate. That's why when I did, Courtney's like, well, why are you trying to stir up beef now? Because sis, you lied on my reputation. It doesn't matter when I choose to stir up beef, you still lied on my reputation. But I just wanted to add that. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying about the videos?
No, you bring up a great point when you talk about the gym videos. Yeah, they do make it very uncomfortable for both men and women at the gym. If we've all been to the, well, I shouldn't say that, but those of us who've been to the gym know that, your eyes are going to wander, especially me, who don't like to look at the timer and the results on the treadmill or anything like that. My eyes tend to wander, and it's going to hit man and woman when that happens. And for them to just be like, oh, you should speak back against that type of thinking, because somebody like that is very dangerous, and they make any situation that they're in uncomfortable. To try to bait somebody to looking at them and then, and then shame them for the act. I'm glad that the men in the gym always retaliate against these women. And I'm glad that society at large really come out en masse against them as well. It really says something about the online community. So what I was going to say about the videos that you played, what we have is a pattern of behavior. And I was trying to pin down the fundamental difference between you and Courtney. And what I've come to is that You want men to be empowered, and feel valued. Where, you know, though she wants black men and black women to get together, she do want black men to come together at under she wants black men to come to black women humbled, you know, leveraged or what have you. You know, she wants them to come to black women with a sense of humility and obligation and desire for unity, where you want them to be empowered. You want them to say, hey, you know, I can go to another country, I can do this, but still I choose to be with you, black woman. So it is a fundamental difference, because your message empowers black men and puts them in a position of leadership in their relationships, while hers puts them in basically a thirsty man that is being leveraged by a box. So, you know, salute to you for that particular perspective, because that's something I co-sign and I agree with.
Thank you. And that's just only fair. That's to me is how everybody can win. I think Courtney probably interpret me asking about black men's best interest as we're putting black women's best interest on the back burner. Without realizing if we focus on black men's best interest, then our best interests get met too, because it's in men to want to protect and provide for their women. So if we fall in place and give them the lemonade, they will go out there and cut the grass. You know, if you give them the energy, whatever it needs, the Celsius, the Red Bull, whatever he drink, to go out there to do it. That's why I respect Miss Crimson Cure. She always talk about, you know, the value system, our place, and she talks about the difference between being his coach and his cheerleader. But I think a lot of black women just don't understand that concept, don't understand what it means by putting black men's best interest, or even keeping black men's best interest into consideration, and how in return it will benefit them. Because also, as you said, they want to lead, they want to be in charge of the conversation, they want black men to stay back on their terms.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, if that's her best interest, and it probably, well, it likely is, especially, you know, because if black men were to create their own terms, then, you know, every woman would be 120-pound D cup. So, you know, I can understand with no kids. So I can understand why.
But none of this.
Yeah, exactly. So no, the woman in the green dress, you know, she wants to get black men on her terms. She don't want to hear what a black man's terms are. So she would be more like, you should stick with me in the community, and I'm going to leverage this box if you could find it. But, you know, if you could find it on a woman that shape, but like, I'm going to leverage this box against you because this is all you have.
Yeah, I agree. If they want to be the driver of the conversation, as we clearly see they want to be the head of the conversation, and they want to be the head of the community too. So that's why, as she said, she's not concerned with. I'm hearing feedback. High Value Wives, I mute you because I was hearing a lot of feedback. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in the car. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to add this other point too. Well, you know, what if you did have some deletions in the past? You know, like what if you did, and you're using your platform to try to help other women, you know, to not be like that, to not come on the dating market with used wombs. You know, it's kind of like, let's say, an ex-whore talking to younger women and telling them not to be a whore. And it's like a woman standing up in the audience and saying, "You whore." It's like, okay. I mean, I'm trying to help here. I'm trying to use my mistakes to help other women. So, you know, we know it's a lie, but if it was true, it's still wrong that you said that if I'm using my testimony to try to help younger women.
It's like getting up in church to give a testimony and somebody back there saying, "Oh, shut up." It's like, I mean,
exactly.
And I have said that since my channel. I try to be as transparent as possible without putting all my business out there, because it's nobody's business. But I do be transparent as possible, so somebody don't even if it's just one person. And shout out to Brianna. She 19-year-old said in my stream last week that she learned a lot from my message. I can honestly close down my channel, no, because I reached a one person, and I know Brianna isn't the only person. A few people have reached out to me, so I don't understand why I'm trying to be silent, shame, and why they're trying to ruin my reputation if what I'm doing is helping young girls to make better decisions. I am confused, and it caused me to question their intention.
Well, I'll help with the confusion. As a, like High Value Wives, I am a professional roaster. And in high school, I did roast very, very, very well. So, and I can tell you that, and you can back me up if you are a roaster too. I can tell you that there are people that are completely unroastable. They're too handsome, their parents are too rich, they have the 4.0 GPA and stuff like that. You just can't find an angle to roast them, so you make something up. That's when the yo mama jokes come in. That's when the other stuff comes in. When you're out of regular stuff, when the person is just too perfect, they always got the newest Nikes on, you start to make stuff up. And that's what's happening with Chantelle. Notice how she went after Pearl's looks, because, Pearl is apparently easy to roast in that regard. Her looks, her dress pattern, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She don't really have that. She's really not able to do that to Chantelle. So absent that, yeah, well, I mean, her actions dictate. I mean, if she's obviously not above talking about somebody's looks, but she didn't talk about your looks. So absent the ability to do that, because it's really harder to do that with somebody younger, hotter, sexier, childless. So what you do is you just make some crap up. And that's where she's at. So yeah, it's a classic roasting technique, from the 90s. But
I mean, as all adults, as High Value Wives has said earlier, as adults, we should know that there are consequences to making stuff up. I mean, who I have on the thumbnail, who made stuff up, and we all saw what happened to her. Shoots, I should have put Tasha Gay on the thumbnail.
Defamation.
Make stuff up. I mean, see what happens to you. So, as an adult, we have to be strategic with our thinking. We can't lead with our emotions when we want to roast and make stuff up, because you're going to have to deal with the consequences.
And have some quality people around you too. Because like the people that I have around me, my husband and a few friends, they would never let me go out like this, so I challenge like the people that are around her. I understand if y'all want to be on code online, that's fine. But I just hope if you have her number, I hope that you're having some private conversations with her, because who you have around you matters. Either they're going to be yes men, or they're going to be hyping you up to, keep going, keep embarrassing yourself, or they're going to hold you accountable. So the people in your corner, in your circle, if they're good quality people, they should be making you uncomfortable, not leaving you comments, when you're deflecting, co-signing this behavior, like, keep your head up. Oh, wow, I can't believe she said that. These aren't people that are going to help you grow. Because she needs to grow from this, just like we all need to grow from things. She needs to grow from this. But sometimes we can be so unaware, or we could be aware, but we could be stubborn. And that's where those good quality people are going to, come in and really be of quality to you. So
I always say you can't see the picture inside the frame. So you do need somebody else on the outside. And I have to give Gail and Game Changers their flowers, because if I was to post anything out of pocket, I know both Gail and Game Changer will be like, sis. Game Changer wouldn't say sis. Game Changer would say, but that's a really good point, Yeah, do you think you should post that?
Yeah, go ahead and delete that for me while we're at it. I know the girl a call. I'm gonna call her on three-way or something. We need to, talk this out, because you're wrong. You're just wrong, But you'll lose friends like that. But that's fine. You got to keep it real with people. You have to be real. Otherwise, what value are you if you don't help people grow? And, this is where true friends come in, because they're willing to do what's uncomfortable in order to help you grow. So if you're not helping your friend grow, I mean, how much do you love your friend if you're not willing to risk the friendship and get uncomfortable for the sake of telling the truth to help them grow? So once again, you know, I'm calling out the people that are around her. What are you telling this girl? What are you texting her? What type of comments are you leaving? You know, how are you helping her through this? Are you helping her to dig in her heels? Are you cementing the idea in her mind that she is right? Or are you bold enough and honest enough and courageous enough to tell her, you're wrong? You're wrong, and I expect so much better of you. You're better than this. I want you to apologize to her. You owe her an apology. Simple.
100%, 100%. Arpin, what are your thoughts? And then we'll wrap up, guys. I don't want to step too much on Miss Crimson Cure's toes. We'll have 15 minutes. Arpin, are you with us? You muted your mic. Okay, Arpin isn't with us. Game Changer and High Value Wives. Anything you guys wanted to close out with? I don't want to step too much on Miss Crimson Cure toes.
No, great show. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, I think it's important to close off with look in the mirror. I'm talking to myself as well. You know, we all have things that we need to work on. So women, you know, let's learn from this. This is intrinsically in us. This is one of our darker traits. So just look in the mirror, be honest with yourself. You know, if you have any smidge of this in you, you need to do some self-work. I don't know if you need to go to therapy, you need to pray, you need to read books, you know, get a life coach, talk to somebody. But we have to get rid of these traits, because anytime that we behave like this, it's not only an L for us, it's an L for women. This is a loss for us. This makes us look bad. It makes us look untrustworthy. And for people who work hard to keep a good reputation and to be trustworthy people, to have women constantly doing these things, we get looked at the same way you guys get looked at. Initially, when we meet a guy, he may have this thing in his mind about women, because so many women are getting caught up in lies. So many women are having, you know, these toxic traits, you know. So it's not just about you when you get caught up in this stuff. It's about all of us and how women in general are viewed. So let's just do better. Let's look in the mirror and let's you know, work on ourselves. And thank you for having me, Chantelle. I appreciate, you know, the dialogue, because it's not just about Courtney, but like you said, your platform is about helping women, and this is help for women.
Thank you so much for calling up High Value Wives. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And you touch on some very important point. Ladies, look in the mirror, because if you have this within you to lie on someone just because of your emotions and your feelings, it's one thing to get triggered. Let me say, it's one thing to get triggered. We all get triggered as humans. It's how you react to the trigger, how you respond to being triggered. That's matter. I say, if you want to see a person's true character, their true intentions, get them triggered, because how they react to the trigger tells you everything you need to know about them. If your reaction to a trigger is to lie on someone and try to ruin someone's reputation, High Value Wives said, I work hard for my reputation, okay? I work hard to maintain my reputation too. There's a reason y'all don't see me up here in certain attires, see me up here showing titties and taking pictures as an angle and showing my legs and my thighs and all these things. I work hard for my reputation. As I said earlier, it doesn't only represent me, but it represents my family and the people who raised me. I'm not going to just allow anybody to crap on my reputation just because they're triggered. Game Changer, you wanted to close out with anything?
No. Once again, thanks for having me. And yeah, I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you guys so much. I'm going live again on Sunday, so if you guys want to call up, we'll have a longer discussion. I don't know what it's going to be about. I doubt it's going to be about this, but something in the, I mean, we'll talk off. If you guys want to call up on Sunday, feel free to. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna get to the super chat and then I'm gonna wrap up. I already stepped on Miss Crimson Cure toes for 20 minutes. I feel so bad, but this conversation had to be said, right? We had to have this conversation. Salt. I like salty, but I like what you did there. I like how you did your name there. Shout out to you. I like how strategic that was. Big up yourself. So just call me salty. I will. Yardi said, I recommend a song for you to listen to, Baby Mama by 3-6 Mafia. 3-6 Mafia. You know, I think I know that song. I'm gonna listen to it after. Shout out to you, Yardley. Ronald again had said, what's the deal with Pearl? I heard black women talking about deleting babies. In light of this, Pearl isn't that bad. You'll have to rewatch the stream. But this has absolutely nothing to do with Pearl. I'm calling out Courtney hypocrisy, because if you're gonna bawl so much for hours about what Pearl said, but you over here saying the same thing to a black woman. You're talking about you don't do anything without having the evidence, but where's the evidence when you accuse me of deleting my babies? She literally accused me of murdering my children, but she has no evidence. But she out here bawling when somebody says something about her with no evidence. The hypocrisy needs to be called out. Marriage, politics, and sports said, for the love of the game. Wanted to hear your input on this. I guess you can call up on Sunday. Coach Ali, big up yourself, said, missed the link to come up. Sadly, the black love conversation is over. Men aren't talking anymore. Men speak with their feet. People are experiencing the behaviors of black women in real time due to the camera. The narrative is changing. That is a solid point. People are experiencing what men have been going through with black women due to TikTok, YouTube, just overall social media. I experienced firsthand what men go through with women lying on them just because they're triggered. Just because he said, hey, I'm not feeling you no more, a woman will lie and say he raped her. Miss Crimson Cure touched on it in a stream, but that was extremely emotional. A man, they can be in the middle of doing the do, of dugu-duguing, of bam bam, wham bam, and the lady can change her mind and say, no, in the middle of bow chicka wow wow, and the woman will change her mind and say, oh no, this is great. Women lie on men for fun. They have these false accusations on men for fun. Just because they're triggered, I'm gonna ruin your reputation. How many black men spend time in jail because a woman just lied on them because she felt like lying? She got triggered, so she just gonna lie. And we saw this in real time. As Coach Ali says, social media allow us to see what black women are capable of. And not just black women, because as y'all see, we put in the KKKourtneys and the Karens in the same boat, because there's no way y'all can convince me that I should be as angry at the Karen but turn a blind eye to KKKourtney when they're doing the same thing to me and the community. They're doing the same exact thing. The Karens and the KKKourtneys doing the exact same thing, but the KKKourtney is going to get a pass because they're outraged at the Karens too. Imagine that. Both of them set the fire, and then KKKourtney gonna turn and talk about, oh yes, let's attack Karen for setting the fire. Sis, you set the fire too. Make it make sense. Ali, we're gonna talk about it on Sunday. I don't know if we're gonna talk about it, but I know it's gonna come up on Sunday. Give everybody an opportunity to speak. Marriage, politics, and sports said, sorry, equipment malfunction. Hopefully you can come up on Sunday to talk. I did want to hear your perspective. You do always add value to the conversation. Counselor G, another one who always add value to the conversation, said, hey Chantel, just wanted to slide through and commend you for staying out of the conflict. You are showing how women should behave in situations like this. Shout out to you, Counselor G. Thank you so much. I know it wasn't my place. I saw that it was the Manosphere versus Pearl. The Manosphere was mad at Pearl. I know that it's not my space to talk. It's not my place to talk on men's issues. So I was like, okay, let me just sit back and observe. Now, if a member of the Manosphere invited me to talk on their issues, of course, but I trust and believe that the men of our community can lead, and they can lead the conversation. I pop in once in a while to support. I'll share people's stream. I'll drop a super chat or two if I can to support the men in the Manosphere, but I'm not off the Manosphere because I'm not a man. Simple. Basic math. Shout out to Angela C. Thank you so much for being in here. Always a pleasure seeing Angela in here. Thank you so much. What TLA will say, No comment, no, just the pure love of the game. I'm messing it up. Big up yourself, Angela. Shout out to you. I see L Turner in the building. Shout out to you. Thank you for being in here. Reality Check says it's and giggles. Big up yourself, Reality Check. Y'all, we're gonna wrap up. If Martin, please drop Crimson Cure's channel in the chat. I feel so bad for doing for going so long on my stream, but y'all go check out Miss Crimson Cure. I won't even wrap up with a funny video. I'll play the outro, that way mods have enough time to drop Miss Crimson Cure channel and immediately go over to Miss Crimson Cure, because I know she's cooking over there. A solid content creator in the space. Y'all don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see y'all on Sunday. On Sunday, I'll be back in Dallas, so no baby will be in the background crying. So I'll see y'all on Sunday. Take care, guys.